Start out with some of the business to begin with, but first thing we want to do is have some introductions. We typically start with having some introductions for people who are new to to MICA, or maybe haven't been here for a while, or we want to make sure that people who know who they are. So we'll have some self-introductions to start with, and who wants to start? Okay, back in the corner there.
I'm Mr. Jessica Lowe. You show up and say I love your husband. I'm not sure what that means. Anyway.
So Jessica,
what's your name? Jeffrey Scott.
We refer to that as Jessica's lesser half, right?
Yes.
Much equal.
And then who else wants to introduce themselves? Next, right next door.
Yeah, I think what you meant is those of us who hadn't paid our bill yet.
Yeah.
We don't do it again. I'm Mike Mulligan, and this is my wife, Becky.
Nice to see you. And we have another introduction in the same row.
I'm Randy Jones, Griffith Point.
Thanks, Randy. Nice to meet you. Anybody? Oh, way in the back.
Barbara McGrath, part of Peter and Barbara McGrath on School.
Nice to meet you. That's Barbara McGrath, I think is what she said. McGrath? Anybody else that would like to introduce themselves, just for the heck of it?
What airs?
But yeah.
yeah.
Couldn't pass that up, right, Mike? Okay, so Jessica has a couple of items she wants to talk about, a future meeting we have and a survey that she does, so I'll give you the floor, Jessica.
Thank you. I work for the Jefferson County YMCA, and we are starting the Children's Advocacy Center. It's in development, and the center will be a place where children and their non-offending adults who have suffered abuse or exposure to violence can come in a neutral, child-friendly environment and get all the support services they need, including those non-offending parents or caregivers. And in order to help develop the best services, I have created a survey, and there's a flyer on the table if you could grab this on the way out. There's a QR code. Pete Hubbard, are you here? He's the QR master. If you need to know how to use a QR code, just ask him, or the URL is right on the flyer. This is a survey for anybody who lives in Jefferson County to measure the attitudes, knowledge, and perceptions you have about child abuse. And your answers will help inform our services and how best to educate the community, because in the end, it is up to the community to keep the children safe. So thank you for that. And then also we have a special MICA meeting, save the date, Thursday, February 15th at 6:30 to hear from the CEO of Jefferson Healthcare about the new hospital expansion and specifically about the radiation oncology. They're in the midst of an effort to purchase the linear accelerator. It's key to delivering radiation treatment for many kinds of cancer. So this will be a huge addition to the hospital. And Mike Glenn and his crew are on a community outreach and education campaign. And we've given him the opportunity to speak to you folks Thursday, February 15th. So grab a flyer to help you remember that date.
Thank you, Jessica. Normally we try to get people to our regular meeting, but their topic wouldn't have fit into our regular schedule, so we decided that we'd have a special meeting. It'll be at 6:30 on the 15th, so thanks for all that work, Jessica, in getting that set up. The next item on the agenda is our treasurer's report. Barry Larrick is our treasurer, and he's on his way to Antarctica right now. So I don't know if he's there yet or not, but that's what he's doing. And he gave me the report, and since Barry's the one that understands this better than me, I'll just cover a couple of things here real quick. Right now, our actual revenue is at $620. Budgeted was $2,900. This is revenue from dues primarily. And then we have expenses about $1,687 with a budget of $2,570. And most of that goes for insurance and those types of costs. And so we have a post office box and use of the garden club. We pay the garden club for use of this building. And then the cemetery fund also has a checking account balance of around $11,200. And then they have also a cemetery CD worth about $15,600. So totally about $24,500 in the bank right now. So that covers the treasurer's report, and I'll make sure that that gets to our secretary to make sure we have that for the records. And next up is the cemetery committee. Cynthia Rowe is going to give the report on that.
All right. Want me to come up there? Okay. Thanks. Hi, I'm Cynthia Rowe. Maybe his better half. And I'm one of the cemetery committee members. So just a quick kind of recap. We sell cemetery usage plots for $500 each, 4x8 burial usage plots. Last year we interred 13 people, either a casket or a urn. We have 128 plots available for sale. That's plus or minus, but real close to that. Each plot accommodates 1 casket, 2 urns, or 4 urns. And right now we have Bruce Carlson wrote a grant proposal for a new replica of the current sign, Soundview Cemetery sign that blew down in a windstorm. And that application was submitted in October, and I'm going to ask him to go ahead and report on that. Go ahead.
You're going to tell everybody in the state who gets the grant awards during the month of January, and they haven't told me yet.
Oh, that's it. All right.
More to come on that later. We've just renewed our cemetery license. We went through the whole big rigmarole of getting our cemetery licensed, and now we are licensed, and that just is something we didn't know about for a lot of years. And finally we were able to get that up to date. And anyway, anyone who is interested in getting a cemetery lot, get in touch with me, Bruce, Bob Barrett, Linda and Pat Patterson, Lisa Fries, or Tim Tibbles. And right now we have someone that, okay, we generally have, go ahead.
Let me take over here.
Okay, thank you.
The MICA business here is because we have a requirement in our bylaws is that when we have a cemetery committee, but each member of the cemetery committee has to be voted and approved at one of our regular meetings. And so Tim has volunteered to be on the cemetery committee. So I need, if anybody is willing to make a motion we have a motion from Bruce Carlson, and we have a second from Doug in the back. So all those in favor of adding Tim Tibbles to the cemetery committee, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. Tim, you can't back out now. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the membership committee. Bob, did you have something you wanted to report?
Well, I want to thank the 17 people who renewed or started the membership today. With new people. Feel free to come up here and clarify whether your membership up to date.
Thank you. I think, Bob. And I don't want to steal the committee's thunder, but they will be coming back at a future meeting with some proposals to some changes in the dues and things like that. So we'll have that at a future meeting. That's not going to be great, so don't worry about having to panic here on what the dues increase might be. Let's see. Carol Woodard would normally be here giving a presentation or an update on the garden club, but she was ill, so she's not here to do that. But if anybody from the garden club wants to say something that's coming up, let me know. But she didn't send anything to me. Go ahead.
We're having a plant sale in April, I think.
Okay, plant sale coming up in April. Okay, so we'll mark the calendar for that when we get the exact date on that. Thanks. Thanks, Liz. Let's see. Bud Ayers. We've got lots of time for you tonight, Bud, so you can talk extemporaneously for maybe 5 minutes.
I yield my time to Jim Norberg.
Thank you. For the Maristone Island Foundation. Thank you, Jim.
Bud is yielding because I am now president. Quick report for you is, as I just mentioned, I'm now president. Also, the solar project that Doug Moore has been working on for the fire station is coming along. We're still waiting on grants. I've got a donation form from the fire department for as we donate to them. Another item of great importance is our election is coming up in March. So if there's anyone wanting to be on the board or nominate someone to be on the board, anytime now before the end of February is a good time to. Yes.
Correct me on that. What we're looking for right now is anybody interested in getting onto the MIF board. We need to see a letter explaining what skill sets you have and why you'd like to be a member of the Maristone Island Foundation. It needs to be submitted before our next meeting, which is in February, the third week in February. So please, if you have an interest in being on the MIF board, we need to have a little write-up from you. A paragraph is really pretty much all we need, so that we can then, as a board, review it and then put you on the ballot for the March election. Thank you.
Thank you, Bud. I'm new at this, so he took over. I think that's all for tonight for Bev. So I'll hand it back to you. Thank you. Jim?
And the Friends of Fort Flagler, Mark Secord, you're up next.
Hi. Just two items. I'm going to keep it to two this evening. Number one, June Thompson. Raise your hand there. June handles our membership function for Friends of Fort Flagler. Has been doing a great job. And it is that time of year, folks. It's time to renew your membership in the Friends of Fort Flagler. We'll be getting out notices soon. We added about 10 lifetime members last year. That's a $500 deal, and lifetime is lifetime. We're up to 38 now, so that's cool. That means you never have to think about this again. But seriously, that's out of the price range for many folks. We understand that. So for as little as $20 a year, you too can become a member of Friends of Fort Flagler. So we'd appreciate you jumping on that early in the year here. We've got a very exciting year, I think, coming up. We're going to be publishing our history of Indigenous peoples on Indian and Maristone Islands. That's been a tremendous amount of work. It's a work in progress, particularly working with the Port Gamble-Sklallam tribe. Lots going on. I said two things, but I snuck a third one in there. The second thing is legislative advocacy. Legislature's in session right now. We are in Governor Inslee's budget for the supplemental capital budget for restoration of the World War II theater. This is a vital community resource, as all of you know, and unless this thing gets some attention, but quick, it's literally going to fall down. So that's our pitch to the legislature, we may be calling on you to help us send letters to our legislators. It's, of course, a great help that we have Representative Steve Theringer, chair of the Capital Budget Committee, who is fully in support of the project. But fingers crossed on this. It's not over until the fat lady sings, as they say. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Next on the agenda is an update for the Bridge Naming Committee. So Patricia Ernst is not here tonight. I don't think she's here. So Colleen says she would give a report.
Thank you. We're happy to know that 55 names were submitted for the bridge naming. There were several duplicates, but we have to cull that list down such that we can give a smaller list out for the Islanders to vote on. So the process we came up with was to let the three major island organizations, MICA, MIF, and the Garden Club, board of directors and board of directors that were in place when the first announcement for the bridge came in to vote on the list of names using a democratic method called dot voting, where each person gets a certain number of dots and you get to pick your favorite one. And then we will put those all together and hopefully get down to 3 names, which we'll release to the community so that you can vote on one of the 3 names. And we divided them into 3 areas: 1 geographic names, 1 people and things, and the other is animals. So that's where the names fell down. Yes?
Are the 55 names available to see?
When we send out the final vote, we'll send out all 55 names so that you can see it and see what the calling was at that point. But all 55 names were justified. We have to send all 55 to the state when we submit the final name, and they all had a justifiable reason for naming that bridge. The one thing that we're not getting a lot of is a response from the local tribes, which can also submit a name, and we've not heard back from them yet, but we're not giving up. We're still trying to do it. So. Okay, that's it.
Thanks, Colleen. If anybody has any questions about the bridge naming, that Patricia Ernest is the chair on that, so just go ahead and send something to her if you need more information about it. So before we move on to our first part of the program, I just want to see if there's anything else that anybody wants to report for the membership. I think we've covered most of it. Just want to give anybody a chance. It looks like we don't have any, so Dr. Scott Mock is here from the Chillicothe School District.